I lost quite a bit of weight, and once I started gaining on carnivore, I was like, forget it. I ran very quickly. Let go of the restriction mindset. You can feel so much better. This applies to all hormone stages. I see so much fear and trepidation and insecurity about it that it actually causes more stress on them.
Hey SB fam, carnivores, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Bella the Steak and Butter Gal. Hope you all are having an amazing meat-fueled day. And as always, drop an update down below and let me know how you all are doing on your carnivore journeys. Emily's highest weight was around 300, just over 300 pounds, and this is what she looked like. So how was she able to lose half of her body weight, look like this, feel amazing, be able to maintain this incredible weight loss, and no loose flabby skin? Emily also shares a lot about mistakes that she sees over and over again. My next 30-day carnivore challenge is open, and I will be inviting on the following guest speakers shown on the screen: Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Sabrina Solt, Dr. Tony Hampton, and Coach Rebecca Heichman. You can hop on plenty of live Zoom calls to ask your questions, troubleshoot with my team of carnivore doctors and carnivore coaches. You can go to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or click the links down below in the description box. So I am here with my bestie, Emily Harvo. I want you to first start off by sharing with everyone how you fell upon this lifestyle.
Oh my goodness. So I came across it from somebody sharing their story, from just giving a very personal, honest view of their life on carnivore. Just reading all about what the process that she went through. And I, at that point, had lost quite a bit of weight through keto and fasting. I had topped out at 300 and I was down around 200-ish, 190, really struggling. So I had done fasting and keto, but was completely hooked on keto treats, on the artificial sweeteners combined with fats, fat bombs, keto ice cream bars. Like there's so much junk that you can buy out there. And so my fast was wonderful. I loved fasting. I learned about fasting from Dr. Fung and from Jen Stevens. The food part was still tricky for me, and that had not come. Keto was not enough to give me food freedom. So just reading about my friends' journey, and those were the things she talked about, was food freedom. And I was so drawn to it, so I decided in January 2021 just to try it for 1 month. Yeah, I did have a prior test with carnivore in 2019. I had tried it, but I did not have any support. So I didn't know any other people that were doing it. I didn't have resources. I hadn't read books. I hadn't, explored it. And so it was pretty new at that time. I'd lost quite a bit of weight. And once I started gaining on carnivore, I was like, forget it. I ran very quickly. I did not understand that you will gain weight. It is, bones and muscles and health. You go through a period of plateau, sometimes a period of weight gain, but I didn't get that at that point. So I had a little false start. So I guess it was calling to me. Then when I did it in January 2021, for that whole month, I felt so amazing. Energy was coming back. Weight was melting off. It just felt so good that I was like, I cannot stop this. This is incredible.
So I kind of want to explore, what did you do differently that first test run where you started gaining weight, didn't feel amazing, and then that second time, World Carnivore Month, did you do anything differently consciously?
You know what was different, Bella, was I had done a program the prior 9 months in between those times that was very emphasis on animal protein. And so they had part of you had to track your macros and all these things that I hate doing. But I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I had to get 150 grams of protein every day, or 180 grams, and it had to be animal protein. It wasn't really even supposed to be dairy protein. So I think that 9 month transition period that had some veg in there that was mostly very, very meat heavy, with a lot of veg and a lot of keto cheats, a lot of cheat foods in that keto. But I think that having so meat heavy for that period of time prepared me really well. The other thing that made a huge difference for me is I documented my journey. So I started an account on Instagram. I think it was by February I'd started an account, and I did it for kind of accountability. But I just found community, and for just by having my own story and my own Instagram about the carnivore journey. So that helped tremendously.
Emily, you mentioned a lot of snacking, fat bombs, right? Desserts, and cooking up a lot of sweet treats on the keto diet. Did that kind of hinder your success with achieving that food freedom, or was it almost like a nice little ease into carnivore? Do you think that was necessary?
Okay, early in my journey, I do think it was necessary, way back, because I started this journey in 2017 of just my health, my weight loss. So yeah, I wanted to feel like I had something, like I wasn't left out, like I wasn't the weird one. I actually wanted a dessert to bring to parties. But the whole philosophy, once I went carnivore, I just realized I had so much more independence, and my brain was clear, and I didn't think about food if I just kept those sweets out. So for a brief period of time, it probably was not the worst thing in the world, but it was so nice when I could give it up. And when I could say, I'm not doing sweeteners anymore, when I knew how to do it, now that I can help other people do that as well. And I see it, like I see it in my coachings and in our groups, when people are so relieved to finally get that monkey off their back of sweeteners.
Exactly.
So they are just night and day. Like you can't take away how good they feel. And we have the people that are kind of still hooked on it on the outside saying, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. And it's like, that's okay. Maybe it's not your time yet to let that go. But I can't not teach that because of what a relief it is when people are stuck on it and they can move past that.
And you do teach that so well, the whole message about letting go of old friends, these long-lasting relationships with the sweet taste, stevia, artificial sweeteners, even like flavored sparkling waters could be affecting how carnivores feel, and they just don't know it. I will put up so many photos of Emily's jaw-dropping transformation. And even if you just look at her skin, how does a woman who lost 150 pounds not have loose skin? She always gets asked this in the community because it's just incredible. Did you have any tummy tucks, any surgeries? Nothing. I want you to talk about your personal experience combining carnivore with fasting. How has that worked out for you?
It's the power tool. I think about how ancestral both of these practices are, that this would make sense, that we would go for periods of time without food. I think of the beautiful research that we have already that has been out there and the Nobel Prizes that have been won. How did that happen? How do I not have loose, draping, hanging skin everywhere? That's the power of autophagy, because fasting has always been part of my approach. It's part of my lifestyle. I absolutely love fasting. I loved it before I came to carnivore. Even when I came to carnivore, I loved including some fasting in it. When I met you guys and learned how to feast and learned how to prime, it just upped my joy of fasting even more so. It has played a huge factor in simplifying my days and my time. And if I'm traveling, I don't eat, I'm fine. So there's so many ways that it's actually just opened up productivity for me, opened up creativity, opened up my feeling of connection, and opened up my emotional maturity as well. Fasting has been a power tool for that, to take a break and to have a rest. And it's good for our organs. It's good for the cells in our body to regenerate. And it is absolutely a must. If you're dealing with skin issues, I absolutely recommend doing some form of fasting.
And share with everyone how young you are. What's your age?
Oh, I am 52 and a half.
And how many children do you have?
I have 4 kids.
Incredible. 52 and a half with 4 kids, thriving, so energetic. To get the results in your after photos, did you kill yourself in the gym? Did you work out, exercise hard?
I am so glad you brought that up. The gym has been a part of my life. It kind of comes and goes, but what I really love about our approach is that with fasting and carnivore, that part is a small part of it. And so we really recommend that people don't do that. Don't kill themselves. I definitely went through some periods of time for over exercising, but for me, that was based on restriction. And that was based on punishing. Exercise was a punishment for me. And I don't want that anymore. I want it to be a joy. Now it empowers me. So now when I'm up for exercising, I have the energy for it. I usually will exercise in a fasted state. I really do enjoy that. I prefer that. And I can gain healthy muscle. I have so much of the nutrients that I need, the fats and the proteins to gain healthy muscle, that I see the shape of my body transforming very quickly. And it becomes just something that makes me feel strong, that makes me feel joyful, and that I don't have to spend hours and hours doing it. A couple days a week is absolutely fine.
Exactly. I love how you said that. I have learned from Coach Emily and Coach Raymond how fasting can be a tool that we can whip out whenever we want to optimize, whether that be optimize healing, mental clarity, body composition, face structure, even glow in the skin. emotions, mood, whatever you want to optimize, you can kind of play around with fasting. But Raymond and Emily, their whole philosophy is the base, the foundation is carnivore diet. It's nutrition. And you lightly mentioned the term priming. Share a little bit about what priming is to you.
Oh my gosh. Priming was and is the ultimate permission to eat the foods that taste amazing to you in the carnivore world. So we're using kind of our discipline, our decision making to only eat ancestrally appropriate foods, the foods that make our body feel amazing. But you go through this period of like hypernutrition. And to me, it just fills up every little nook and cranny. You know, I know and have read that we have, you know, cofactors and vitamins. We need all these kind of these other components that go into making our biology work. And so priming to me just fills up those tanks. It gets you your reserve requirements. You have a strong body, and then a strong body can fast. A strong body can work out if you're choosing that. And so to me, the priming is the foundation of everything. But I have seen so many people healed from so many different things from priming. Unending testimonies of what people have accomplished from taking this period of time, this season of time to really fully nourish themselves. And it's a skill that you always have in your toolbox, and you can always come back and use it if you need it for specific reasons and specific periods later.
Priming on the carnivore diet is a 2 to 3 week long period of time where the person prioritizes eating 3 meals every day intentionally, because it preps the body to really reap the full benefits and healing of intermittent fasting and extended fasting. Coach Raymond and Coach Emily have an entire 90-day priming, feasting, and fasting plan that they've created, tried and tested on thousands of carnivores now. One of the best benefits, of course, is fat loss and body recomposition, and we see it in our members of all ages. Both men and women see their bodies transform, lose fat, lose inflammation, and get stronger. This is our very own star member, Limitless Lindy, who has lost 500 pounds just by priming and basic intermittent fasting. We've also seen our members completely heal acne, cystic acne, reverse tinea versicolor, heal from serious health concerns, fix autoimmune skin issues like psoriasis and eczema, and just feel so incredibly amazing. We teach the full priming protocol and give out weekly, easy to follow schedules in our monthly carnivore challenges. The Steak and Butter Gang is where Coach Raymond Nazon and Coach Emily Harvo teach their weekly priming, feasting, and fasting classes. You can get more details and directly sign up and join us at the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or you can click the links down below in the description box. How does it feel to help so many people, coach so many women on carnivore diet and fasting?
It is completely humbling. We have been taught so many things about fasting, that it's dangerous, which I agree with in the wrong context. So coming into Steak and Butter Gang, meeting you and Raymond, learning about this feasting, this has been so foundational in women being able to come back to fasting as a power tool of something that they really enjoy and that super nourishes them as much as the feasting nourishes them, as much as the carnivore. So for me, it's like unlocking keys. I feel like I have this little key and I just want to open up this treasure chest for women. And I just want to say you can feel so much better. This applies to all hormone stages. This applies to young women. This applies to peri, post. And as they're going through these, to be able to get that nourishment perspective, let go of the restriction mindset, let go of trying to get on like a tiny little toddler amount of food, to have, you know, full carnivore nourishment with high fat. You know, it's just try that out, see how that feels. But to me, it just like, it helps them come home to themselves and to feel themselves for the first time. It's a thrill to problem solve these and to, you know, there's so many specific questions that come up. And so as a community and from our expertise and everything that we're doing, we can troubleshoot so many issues, and usually we can find a solution for people.
And I've posted quite a few videos so far where both coaches, Emily and Raymond, have kind of held my hand and guided me through priming all over again when I really needed to heal and reset. So I personally know and have felt the power of doing priming for the first time, but also revisiting priming. And I think the beauty of priming is that you can do it and then see how you feel. For a lot of people, they are so ready to fast and start getting that autophagy magic and the benefits. For me, currently, I was planning to go on with their fasting routine, but I felt so good, so happy with my results after my initial prime, guided by them, that I was just like, this is my sweet spot.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm happy with 2 meals a day whenever I feel like it and am hungry for it. And sometimes I'll throw in some OMADs, but that's pretty much the extent of intermittent fasting that I enjoy.
Yes.
And down the line, I am sure when it's maybe summertime and the warmer weather is here, I will explore longer fasts. But that's the beauty of it with us women, though. Here's a big question. How does fasting not wreck hormones? How does it not cause binging? How does it not, you know, have repercussions?
Yeah. Absolutely. Because fasting is only one side of the story.
Yeah.
And so it is so important. I really love if people are having trouble with their hormones or transitions in different chapters, you know, I'd like them to explore upping fat a little bit, introducing some fat and seeing what that does for the hormones. You know, hormonally, when we are feasting on carnivore in between our fasts, we're in, like in our program, we have the priming period, but we have also little mini periods where you do a mini prime before you move forward in fasting. Fasting to me is a sharp sword that can be used for so much healing. It can be overused.
Right.
It can lend people into issues over fasting and being undernourished. And so we need both sides of that equation, and we need accountability on both sides. For me, I do. We need support and help when we're doing our fasting days, and we need that encouragement. Don't forget, you know, to keep highly, highly nourished. And fasting, it shouldn't be a quick fix. It should be a steady tool used over time. You should look at a period of time, like a season of fasting. And, you know, that's why we really like the gentler. We do extended fast, but they're gentle extended fast. They're a rolling 36 hour, a rolling 48 hour. We're not doing 5-day, 10-day, 15-day fasts, because we know that if used improperly and if not nourished correctly, you can end up in a lot of trouble, feeling bad and hating fasting, and you can get very sick. So it's something to proceed with caution. To me, proceed with joy, because we get this joy of priming and we get this joy of community, and then we can use fasting as the tool that it really should be in our life, which is therapeutic fasting and just enhancement of our life.
Absolutely. So I'm 27, Emily is 52, and we have seen thousands at this point of all ages, as young as 16, all the way up to
80s.
80s. Yeah, 80s. And we have seen how fasting has only helped them, supported them. And I do agree that it's the other side of it, the nourishment, the eating part, that really makes or breaks.
Yeah, it does. And not only that, Bella, we also, the way that we teach fasting is we teach no white knuckling.
Yes.
So we tell you what white knuckling looks. And we've known this for a long time, from way back when. If you feel ill when you're fasting, stop the fast. You can always come back to it. There is no failure. There's only learning. Right. And so we have the way that we teach it in our program, the way that we pulse it is a slow, steady build. So you don't just jump right into a 72-hour fast or a 5-day fast. You start with, you know, 2MAD, then you switch to OMAD, and then you do a little bit. And so we're always just like stretching and then nourishing. And so the way that we go about it, you get a way to monitor, is this fast safe for me and feeling good for me? Because we want to teach people how to have fasts that feel really good.
It does require a lot of troubleshooting.
Oh, it's so individual. Yeah. It's so specific, so that we can really listen to what's going on. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you want to get a little feeling of what the community is all about and how Emily and Raymond teach the program, I'll make sure to link the Steak and Butter Gang and the challenges that we host every month down below in the description box. You are a mother of 4 beautiful children, and I'm just so curious how you make it work. Firstly, as a carnivore woman, right, around so many people who eat junk, standard American diet. We both live in Washington. I personally know, you know, the restaurants that are around here, there's really not that many carnivore options. And you don't live downtown Seattle where there's tons of great restaurants. How do you make it work as a carnivore mom? And are your kids carnivore? How do they eat?
So when they eat at my house, my kids are carnivore. And, you know, I have 3 young adults and I have an 11-year-old. And so, and my young adults are college age, so they're still at home doing that. But it's been a journey for them. My daughters specifically have gotten so much healing as they have embraced carnivore, as they have embraced high fat. Those things have really helped them through their transitions. They've both taken little seasons and periods of time where they're mostly carnivore, and then they've taken series of time where they're young adults, they have jobs, they have their own cars, they're doing their own thing. Yeah. And so my son, Carson, he enjoys bacon. I make lots of special recipes for him. He knows how to make things from the freezer to the air fryer. He makes chicken wings, ribeyes, all the time. So, but I do find that for him, I do like to find more of the fun recipes and do just special holiday recipes. And I do a lot of the things where I use egg yolks and egg whites to make, you know, certain muffins or croissants, or, you know, have all different kinds of things that I make for him that I feel like that there's a lot of variety for him. So it's been tricky. Yeah, as far as the restaurants go, that one has been a little more difficult. I like what you talk about when you order your steak and you say, I'm allergic to the oils. Right. That is super helpful. I would say that we definitely eat home more. They know all about the McDonald's hack where we get the quarter pounders at McDonald's. We do that all the time. My kids understand when I go through the drive-thru, that's what they're getting. And they're not really that sad about it. If they're really hungry, that will taste delicious. They can have cheese and bacon, and, you know, we can kind of figure it out. We have found Five Guys to be a family favorite. Really good. So yeah, that tends to be where we end up quite a bit. So I think that it's just this dance. I want them to understand the health benefits. I want them to know for their bodies, but it's one of those things that they seem to be learning it for themselves. And I am 100% for that as well. I want to make sure they know how to cook good meaty meals and good things to eat. But I want it to be their own journey. And they realize how the food makes them feel now, because when they're eating my way, they feel so much better. And then when they go and they eat the crap, they just immediately the next day feel really bad. So I think they're learning that connection pretty early in their life. And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. And I'm sure they all see how mama is feeling and how she's improving with her mood, her body, her whole aura. So they must be inspired by that as well.
It has been very inspiring. They love what I'm doing. They love that I get to work in this space. They consider that to just be a joy. And so, yeah, they are incredibly happy for me. And even my daughters will work out sometimes together. And so, you know, we keep doing that. Trying to focus on things that are healthy as a family, try to focus on activities, not always have it be focused on the food, but when it is focused on the food, lots of variety, always bacon. And yeah, they're pretty happy.
Amazing. Yep. So I want to finish up with a fun little question. You have seen and coached and observed so many carnivores come back, advance into a very long-term relationship with this lifestyle. What are the top carnivore diet mistakes that you see, especially with women?
Okay, number one is focusing on the scale and the results. Absolutely. And so I think that can be such a difficult introduction to it. Right when they're getting started, they're already beating themselves up right when they start the journey. So we absolutely recommend keep that to a minimum. Toss the scale if possible, because your body will get stronger and heavier oftentimes on a carnivore approach, not always.
If you're new to the carnivore diet and you're struggling with symptoms like fatigue, headaches, or muscle cramping, these are all very common symptoms of adapting to the carnivore lifestyle. And a quick fix for these symptoms is to just salt all of your carnivore meals a lot heavier. And if that does not do the trick, then I do recommend leaning on a high quality electrolyte supplement. The one that I always recommend is this one from Element, this exact colored box, the teal banner box labeled raw unflavored. No stevia, there's no flavorings, there's no sweet taste whatsoever. So it's a safe, clean electrolyte supplement that only has the 3 ingredients. You can just throw it in your bag, your work bag, take it on the go. And to take it, you just rip one open, pour it in whatever beverage that you're drinking, mix it up, drink it down, and you're good to go. Experiment and observe how you feel. You all can get a free sample pack with any purchase, and yes, it includes their raw unflavored in it, by going to the URL shown on the screen, drinklmnt.com/SBGAL. I've also linked them down below in the description box.
That's one thing I see. Another thing I see is trying to do everything perfect. Having this like thing, like they just want to do it all right. And so they're, again, very hard on themselves. So instead of just kind of relaxing and letting go and letting their appetite kind of guide what they're eating, they get really focused on too much details. I will also see them freaking out about macros. Am I getting enough fat? Am I getting enough protein? Which is a valid question. And we deal with that question all the time in group. I'm not saying that's not good. Like we want to cover that area fully. But I see so much fear and trepidation and insecurity about it that it actually causes more stress on them. So I do like it if they can let the tracking go for a little bit, even some of the, you know, focusing on their steps and their biomarkers and their blood sugar and just to give that a little rest for a while, the ketones, like that is interesting and it can come back later from just kind of a knowledge perspective. But I see people get way too caught up in that when they start. Another mistake I see is trying to do the most difficult, most extreme version of carnivore. Without a good reason. Sometimes there is a good reason. If someone's coming to me and they're in bedridden in pain, that's a really good reason to consider ruminant meat only. But if someone's just kind of wanting to try carnivore to see if they like it, that's not the best approach to see if you're going to like it. So I definitely, you know, think that having more variety is better and keeping it just so that you can actually really enjoy this process.
I had cystic acne. I had autoimmune issues. We see a lot. If you have autoimmune healing to do, it is absolutely best to maybe cut down on the cheese, the pasteurized dairies, the chicken, the pork. They just tend to be a little bit more inflammatory. And for me, it was kind of flipped. I started off with predominantly beef, tons of butter. Thank goodness I was able to tolerate butter, and lots of pasture-raised eggs. But then a year, 2 years down the line, that's when I opened up my variety. And now I enjoy all types of different cuts of meat, pork, chicken, seafood, all of it, even cheese. Of course, I prefer raw, and I am careful with how I play around with that ingredient now. It really depends on what you're healing, your history, and to have a coach like Emily guide you, troubleshoot with you, tell you that, hey, this is normal, is of course incredibly helpful. I do want to kind of shout out your star client, Lindy.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you did that. You guided her.
Yes.
How long did you coach Limitless Lindy?
So we coached for about a year and a half. Yeah. So she was very faithful. She knew that she needed that one-on-one support, and Raymond and I were able to coach her together. And she shared everything with us, her emotional journeys, her relationships, her emotional journey with food, her fears about her body, her relationship with her physicians, like all of this stuff we got to talk about and work through. And so she had a little mini community that she grew and with all of this. And carnivore, she trusted the process. She absolutely trusted the process. And she didn't push herself to fast either. She was doing OMAD, 2MADs. You know, she wasn't trying to go crazy on all of that. She was just being consistent. And her consistency over time and her staying on carnivore, it just got her incredible results. She's lost 500 pounds. I just can't even imagine. It's just so cool. And, but her joy and her passion and her ability and her confidence is what changed. And that's what I love seeing when you see those we talk about the beginner mistakes where people are so unsure of themselves, and just staying in a supportive environment, sticking with it over time, we see that change. That confidence turns night and day. And that's, as coaches and as mentors, that's what we do for each other. We're just there watching this like unfolding of beautiful transformations.
Absolutely. It really is a metamorphosis. You know, we see these curious, wanting to heal caterpillars almost blossom into these butterflies. And Limitless Lindy is truly soaring now. She has her channel. She's leading her own movement, doing live streams. We both will be talking about the carnivore diet, feasting, and fasting, the power of it, the magic of it at KetoCon 2024. Hack your health. Share a little bit about what you're excited about.
Oh my goodness, you guys, this has been such a cool experience. Talk about a community event. So Raymond and I were able to go last year, and I met so many of my heroes, YouTubers, influencers, doctors and, you know, friends, so many of my friends, and I met them in person. And so just getting that chance to be there in person was so powerful.
The rest of the panel that we get to sit on the main stage with, Coach Raymond will be there to also chime in on the power of fasting and carnivore, as well as Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Chaffee, and Dr. Robert Kiltz. So if you want $50 off your ticket, come and have the time of your life. It is in Austin, Texas. I will make sure to link all the important links down below in the description box.
Well, you just need to stick close to her, and then you'll be close to me because we can stick close together.
We're very close.
You can find me on Instagram at Healed by Meat. Yes. You can reach out to me there. I do have a YouTube, and so you can reach out to me there as well. But honestly, the best place to find me is Steak and Butter Gang, and I can be a part of your success journey. That would be an honor for me.
If you're wanting to learn more, or you are ready to jump right into this amazing carnivore lifestyle, my next 30-day carnivore challenge is open, and I will be inviting on the following guest speakers shown on the screen: Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Dr. Sabrina Solt, Dr. Tony Hampton, and Coach Rebecca Heichman. You can hop on plenty of live Zoom calls to ask your questions, troubleshoot with my team of carnivore doctors and carnivore coaches. We also will, of course, be teaching the full priming, feasting, and fasting fat loss program. You can go to the URL shown on the screen, sbgmeetup.com, or click the links down below in the description box. If you have any requests for future video topics, video guests, feel free to comment them down below. I am always taking note of popular requests from you guys, my amazing SB fam and viewers. I will see you in my next video. SBG out.